Hello, this is Candy from eyes2jesus.blogspot.com, and this is my planner setup that I'm using for the month of October. Now, I did a couple of planner videos in late September, so I'm not going to go into great detail on my October setup. Furthermore, I still got my same planner system for the most part, so there's not a whole lot of differences there. So some of the changes I will go into in better detail, and the things that are the same we'll just kind of go by quickly. In the planner community, there is a word called a unicorn, and I'm not talking about a horse with a pointy horn on its head, but in the planner community, a unicorn is when there's a specific planner or planner cover that's very hard to get. It's kind of your dream cover, and it's one that really just, you know, sings to you, the kind that you really want to get. For a lot of women, in some of the planner groups I'm in, their planner unicorn was a classic size vintage Aurora. For me, my planner unicorn isn't that vintage, but it's something that has not been available for the past 2 or 3 years, and for some reason is really hard to find. And that is my unicorn. What I have been looking for almost 2 years is a classic size Franklin Covey Boston, not in black, green or blue, not black. And I had a few opportunities to get some black ones, but I held off. I wanted green or blue. I got a compact green one last year, so I know what the green looks like in person, and it's pretty. So I thought it'd be nice, okay, so I'd like to get a classic in blue. If you look up Bostons on eBay, it's very hard to find them in the classic, and when you do, they're usually gobbled up right away, unless the price point is a bit too high, then they just sit there. So a lot of the Bostons I had seen coming up was between $150 and almost $400, and sorry, my unicorn is going to have to cost me less money than that. So one of the advantages of being in multiple planner groups on Facebook is that the ladies will sell their used planners, or planners that they found at thrift stores or that they've had laying around or whatever. And a nice lady in one of the planner groups I'm in was selling several planners, and one of them that she was selling was a classic size Franklin Covey Boston in blue. The price was right. Very, very good deal. She was easy to work with. And here it is. I had to get it from Canada. She's in Canada, but that's not a problem, and it came really quickly. So, isn't it gorgeous? Classic size Boston. The only modification that I made to this binder, and this is a buttery, genuine leather. It smells like my dad when he'd ride his motorcycle. So it's really neat. And yeah, it's a nice soft leather. And the only modification I made to it was it came with 1 1/8 inch diameter rings. Well, you know, with most Franklin Covey binders, the rings are removable with an Allen wrench, a size 2, I believe. So I just took out the 1 1/8 and put in 1 1/4. Perfection. Now, if you're wondering if you can do 1 1/2 in a classic size Boston, the footprint and the spine will take it beautifully, because I did try it for kicks, but you will not be able to close this with the buckle on. If you take the buckle off, it closes. But with the buckle on, if you put 1 1/2 inch diameter in here, you cannot close it. So I would much rather have 1 1/4 rings and have the buckle, because my favorite thing about the Boston is the buckle. I love that square buckle. And you can fit a lot in here with the 1 1/4 ring. So it's working for me fabulously. Alright, so I'll just take you on an abbreviated tour of my setup. Like most planners that I have that I love, there are 2 pen loops. I'm keeping my dual tip Sharpie on the pen loop in the front cover, the pen loop in the back cover. I currently got a Inkjoy gel pen. I like how the ink looks. I like the color of the pen, so both of my marker and my pen are blue, kind of to go with the blue planner, but they're kind of a light blue to give it a bit of a pop. Okay, inside my pocket here, There are credit card slots here. I don't have anything in them because I don't want to bulk it up. So I just have a journaling card here held on with a heart paper clip. And the journaling card is from the Cultivating a Good Life set by Project Life. This is probably my all-time ever favorite journaling card. It says, part of cultivating a good life is knowing that no matter what happens today, you have control of your outlook and attitude. I love that. All right, the secretarial pocket back here, I got this folded in half piece of scrapbook paper. Inside there, I just keep a little to-do list papers. And then there's a bow paperclip. Paperclipped here is a little booklet printout of the Prairie Muffin Manifesto. Again, if you're interested in getting that, it's from buriedtreasurebooks.com. That website is no longer available. So I searched it up on archive.org, and I have it that way, and I got it saved to my hard drive so I can print out copies whenever I want. All right, and then you've got two more pockets. You got a pocket right here. In there, I have my cardstock with my washi tape on it and some small journaling cards. Then you have another pocket in here. In that pocket, I just keep some random papers that I like to pull out for reference every once in a while, but I don't need too often, and the larger size journaling cards. Okay, so I got my same welcome page inside a top loading clear page protector from Daytimer. So same page. Got my same dashboard. All right, my scratch paper / grocery list pages, I'm just holding them together with a Happy Planner magnetic bookmark so that it's easier to flip past, because I only ever need to look at the front one. And this is my grocery list. I'll be getting my weekly groceries soon. And when I do, then this won't need to be the front page anymore. So going past that, I again made some more new dividers. I love making dividers, and I don't make them the same way. I make them different ways to see what I like the best. If you want to make dividers, you don't have to own a laminator, okay? You can go down to like a dollar store or the Target dollar spot, get yourself some of those plasticky type folders or the thick cardboard type folders that have pretty design that you like. Then just take a divider and trace it and cut that out and punch it, and you have your divider. Or if you don't have a divider to trace, then just make sure that you trace out a square rectangle that's equal to a half sheet of US paper if you're in a classic size. And then just draw it out with your pencil, and then draw on a tab and then cut it out. Really simple. And then, you know, if you're using it's a thick cardboard or thick cardstock or a plastic folder, you don't have to laminate if you don't have that ability, and that's okay. Or you can just, if you have a laminator, trace out your divider shapes in your tabs on scrapbook paper, laminate it, punch it, and put it in. You can use a tab punch to punch out tabs and then stick the tabs to your dividers, or you can use Avery stick-on tabs that you can get in pretty much any office supply store, or you can just make and cut out tabs out of some cardstock and then just stick it to your rectangle that you cut out. That's like a half sheet of US paper, and laminate that. These dividers, I made 6, and I actually used the Target dollar spot dividers that comes for, you know, the mini Target dollar spot binders and planners. And then I just took some scrapbook paper and folded it over both sides of the divider so only the tab stuck out, and that gave me sturdiness. It made the Target dollar spot dividers pretty instead of just plain. So I folded scrapbook papers on both sides, and then the tab just stuck out, laminated it, repunched it, and then just stuck on my labels. So my first homemade divider using that system is homemaking. Okay. And then, still got the same stuff. I've got my master to-do list. I got my daily chores. I got my master schedule. I got my children's chores and their assigned table chores. I've got my cleaning and organization projects, my extended cleaning, my alternate cleaning, my emergency quick clean, and then just a little page with the tabs. So if I grab it and flip it, it takes me directly to my menu. Alright, and then after my menu, breakfast and lunch ideas, supper ideas, sides ideas, and that whole subsection there is to help me in creating my menu. Alright, my master grocery list, And then the rest of the homemaking section is recipes and then a few blank sheets of paper for writing in new recipes. Okay, my next homemade divider is Homeschool, and it looks like this. Alright. And all the scrapbook paper I use for all 6 of these dividers is, I believe it's by Color Book. Got it from Walmart for like $5, and it was the Color Book one called Delilah. Alright. And inside Homeschool section, still the same. We got my curriculum chart, my personal reference page, copywork assignments, and reading lists, and then some blank papers for putting down notes. Okay, next homemade divider is budget. So it's kind of, you know, a bit plain looking, and then if I turn it the inside of the divider, we get a little birdie. Alright. And then inside budget, I got a top-loading pocket that I made out of vellum paper in my laminator. I hold it closed at the top with a secure paper clip, and I keep bills in there. So my top-loading pocket is see-through, so I'm not going to show you that, so I got bills in there. After my top-loading pocket is, of course, my budget guide. You've heard me talk about this. I list what expenses are due on what paychecks. And then after that is a whole bunch of just paper, filler paper, where I just write down the date of the check. I write down the list of expenses for my budget guide page. I access my calendar. I look at, okay, what other expenses we need to add to that, and then I track everything there for each paycheck. So my next homemade divider is notes, which looks like this. Okay, and again, notes. There's one thing I added to notes that I thought was cute. I added her point of view cover page for the 2017 inserts. I'm not filling it out. I got it because the back of the page has planner, hints, and helps. And they have some really good stuff. Schedule time with yourself, a section called for lefties, customizing tabs, space saver, and my favorite section, keeping it all together. It says what percentage to reduce what pages for if you want to print out inserts for your various different size planners. So I keep that there. And then of course I have a whole bunch of numbered pages in my notes section and my table of contents. I have a little tab towards the end of my notes section called directions, where I just have written down directions and addresses to get to some places that I find tricky to get to. Next homemade divider is plans, and it looks like this. And on the inside of my plans divider, it's got a couple of post-it notes showing my 2016 goals. A lot of them which I have already reached, so that is fabulous. I've actually, it's like I've reached over half of them or more. I really should go through that. All right, and then I have a year at a glance for the years 2016 through 2021, and I got this from Blooms, Franklin Covey Blooms. I love Franklin Covey Blooms. I love flowers and pastels and florals and such. For 2016, I've been using a Daytimer Flavia Day on One Page inserts for my monthly calendars. And for the last part of September and now into October, I am using Daytimer Flavia Day on 2 pages. So here's some blank ones. So I will probably continue using these for the rest of 2016. I think I'm probably going to do the Franklin Covey month on 2 pages and day on 2 pages Blooms for 2017. And then I'm going to set up a surprise planner for my mom. She doesn't have internet, so she unfortunately can't see my videos. But that means she's not going to have the supplies ruined because she won't see this video. But anyways, I'm making a Thanksgiving a gift for her because we don't celebrate Christmas, so we give gifts on Thanksgiving. We're thankful you're in our life. We're going to give you a gift. Okay, and so her Thanksgiving gift this year is I'm going to put together a planner for her, and I think I've decided on her point of view, Franklin Covey, month on 2 pages and day on 2 pages. And the planner will be customized for her, customized sections that I know that would be helpful for her. There will be pictures of her and her brother and sisters, and pictures of me and my husband and children. I'm an only child. And then, so yeah, and up-to-date pictures of her grandchildren. etc. So that's going to be fun to put together. I have almost everything accrued and gathered already to make this planner for her, and I think it's going to be really cool. So maybe before I mail it out to her next month, if I remember to, or I think about it or whatnot, or if I want to, I will make a tour of that planner that I will make for my mom. Okay, so I only keep 1 month in my planner at a time for the day on 2 pages. I don't want to bulk it up, and monthly chunks is nice and easy, so I can just file everything at the end of the month. Okay, my last homemade divider is labeled ABC. This one's my daughter's favorite divider, and it's this one. So isn't that cute? And like I said, all of the dividers, the scrapbook paper was from Color Book Delilah. All right, and that's one of my favorite scrapbook collections. So I'm gonna need to get another one. So I got it from Walmart. When I get my weekly groceries, I think I'll stop in the papercraft section and see if they have more, and if so, hopefully it's $5 again like it was when I got it, and I'll just get another one. Okay, so ABC is just as it sounds. It's alphabetical tabs. I don't want to show personal information. These are day timer, phone, and address pages and alphabetical tabs. I like the day timer ones better than the Franklin Covey ones. So whenever I have an ABC section, it's always that. Right now I just have it for contact information. I don't need a filing system too badly right now because I have my notes section, which is really working well for me. But there was a season last year, I think around autumn or winter time for a while, where I did need the filing section to keep temporary pages, and it worked good to keep it in the ABC section. So I have that here for when or if I ever need to do that again, or if I get into any major projects, I definitely use the filing system. So that is there for that. After that, we come to my back matter. Let me turn to a blank page. My back matter is more of my official brain dumpish section. My front pages where my grocery list is kind of scratch paper. My back matter pages is more of an organized brain dump. When there's something that I want to blog about or video about that has a lot of info and I'm afraid of forgetting points, then I'll just make bulleted lists on this paper back here and go off of that. Otherwise, if I can just keep it all in my head and just say it out on a video or type it out on the blog, I do that. So here's the blank pages. These pages here, I do have notes on them. Bow bunny pages, and then a day timer grid paper. All right, and then we got one of those Ziploc type pockets in the back. And again, I like the day timer pockets better than the Franklin Covey. The Franklin Covey, at least the ones I got, are like you pull them open and push them closed like a baggie. As to where the day timer one, you have a little zippy mechanism, and I really like that. And inside there, I just got my Avery dots, Avery labels, some extra page flags, and just little loose doodads like that. After that, page lifter, and it's Franklin Covey page lifter. I like the Franklin Covey page lifter. It's better than the day timer ones, at least in the classic or desk size. Whenever I get a day timer page lifter, it's only like half width. It's not a full page width for the planner pages, and I don't like that. The Franklin Covey ones, the page lifter is the same size as the paper, and I like that. Okay, after that I have my notepad. I'm finishing this up. It's starting to get kind of thinned down. This is a day timer Flavia notepad. It's really pretty. And then in the pocket back here I have some Happy Planner stickers, and in this side pocket back here, I don't remember what I've got. Oh, I got some other stickers back there, some smaller sheets so that they don't fall back here and get lost. I also got some recollection stickers back there too, because they're cute to use every once in a while. And just before I finish, a lot of people might be wondering what in the world, how do you use a day on 2 pages? Alright, so I just turned to some blank day on 2 pages, and I'm just going to run through really quick how I'm using these, okay? Now these are the day timer Flavia day on 2 pages. The Franklin Covey ones are a bit different, but the layout's all general, almost the same. So you have a to-do section here. So this is when you just write your to-do list, okay? And then Franklin Covey has a spot, day timer doesn't, so I just kind of put it in there where you write down, A little A next to everything is gotta get it done today. A B, let's try to get it done. A C for me is, well, if the A's and B's are done, then we can hit the C's. All right, and then you just check them off as you do them. Franklin Covey has a little legend where, you know, check mark is done, X is canceled, a dot is in process, an arrow is forward to the next day. There's delegate symbols if you delegated that to someone else. So I use those in the Flavia. So that's the to-do list. I'll write down my to-dos, and then I'll write the letters of priority next to it. If I have an A priority thing that's higher A priority than everything else, then I'll put it down as A1 or 1A. And if I really need it to stick out, then I'll take my pen and I'll outline it on the line I wrote it on so it really jumps out at me. All right, and then the next column, this one says schedule. The Franklin Covey says appointments. You just write down your appointments here. You circle what time an appointment is if you have a lot on there to make it jump out, and write down your appointments. When I'm off my normal schedule or routine, then I'll write the whole schedule there as well. Down here, Franklin Covey has one section called Tracker where you can track whatever you want. The day timer, we have communications and expenses. I don't use either of those, so I cover them up with stickers and I decorate down here. This is where my Happy Planner stickers go. And the other page is this aligned page. Day timer calls it Journal. Franklin Covey calls it Notes. I like it being called Notes better. Just use that for whatever is going on in your life. Lately, what I've been using mine for is I'll write down that day's breakfast, lunch, and supper that I'm planning on making. That way I don't always have to flip over to my homemaking section to see the menu for that day. I could just keep my planner open where it's at on the day of 2 pages. Whenever we're doing projects or tracking things, or if someone has a cold or an illness, I'll track that here as well. If there's something journal worthy that I will remember such and such happened on such and such day, then I will journal it there, etc. And if there is something noteworthy, then you'll find the very first page is notes. All right, that's the very first page you get for the day timer, day on 2 pages. Franklin Covey, it's more of a page where you write down dates and a quick summary of what's on certain journaling pages that you want to index, file, or remember. And that's what I'm using the notes section here for. So that was a very quick description of how I use day on 2 pages, but it works for me wonderfully. Here's a quick glimpse of today so you can see what I'm talking about. All right. And then you see my page finder, and then I have my little basic to-do list card, which looks like this. And I just pop it in and out of the rings. So that is a basic setup tour of my planner setup for October. Now I need to go check my phone. Someone is texting me. But anyways, Franklin Covey Boston in the Classic. If someone were to ask me, in my opinion, what's the best planner cover, Franklin Covey-wise, I would say Classic Boston. Day timer-wise, I would definitely say their desk size Malibu. Happy planning!